Okay, so my name is Ganesh. I work in the Ansible Engineering team. I've been working for Ansible for last 8 years, and my main focus areas within Ansible are around content engineering and developer tools. So we'll be talking about streamlining the Ansible creator experience with Ansible development tools. Before going forward, just a show of hand, how many of you are aware that there is something called as a package, Ansible development tools? Okay. Quite a few. So yeah, this is the agenda. So we'll go through why we are working on Ansible development tools, what is included in ADT, the short form for development tools, then how the Ansible VS Code extension is integrated with the Ansible development tools. Then we'll be talking about how to work within your container environment using the Ansible development container. We'll go through a brief demo and then talk about roadmap. So before going into details of development tools, this slides basically show high level of what Ansible is. So when we say Ansible, it can mean different things to different people based on their job role. So we have categorized the Ansible projects into 3 main buckets. That is create. This is where your Ansible content collection, Ansible development tools come into play. Once Ansible Developer has written their automation, that is when the next step is they want to move their automation to a stage or a production kind of environment. That is where the managed bucket fits in. So projects like Ansible AWX, the controller, event-driven automation, then Ansible Galaxy to store and distribute your collections. And then so basically the AWX is to execute your automation, basically creating the workflows, job templates, and then enterprise related features like automated authentication, role-based access control, and so on. And then to scale your automation, it is being hosted or it can run on multiple different environments, RHEL, OpenShift, and all the major cloud providers. So within Ansible development, there are a couple of focus areas. So one, as I mentioned, Ansible content collection, what Alina talked about earlier. So it basically consists of roles, modules, plugins, as many of you might be aware of. So this is a component that basically runs your automation, the main component. Then comes the Ansible development tool. So this basically helps you write your content, build, test, and deploy your Ansible content. This is the main focus of the talk. We'll dig deeper into this component. Then there is Ansible development container. So it includes the Ansible development package. It is integrated with the VS Code extension, and it also supports the Ansible AI Connect service. Ansible AI Connect service is basically a collaboration with IBM to bring generative AI to Ansible. It helps new developers of Ansible to get started with Ansible faster and easier. And this Ansible plugins for RedHat Developer Hub is something that we are actively working on right now. So RedHat Developer Hub is a downstream version of Backstage. So Backstage is an internal development tool that is open source by Spotify, and we are developing Ansible plugins to provide curated learning paths, click button, push button automation experience. This is a space that you can watch out in future. So why we have started working on Ansible development tools? Back in 2024, we had a survey for Ansible Dev tools, and we got good feedback around that. So I'll just quote a couple of them here. So first one is like there are multiple tools with no clear use case. Everything does sort of same. So Ansible has been around for a while, and there is a bunch of legacy code that has been around, and so there is no opinionated way how a new developer would come in and start. So there are syntaxes that are considered legacy, and what to use and what not to use. So it often gets confusing. So again, on similar lines, there are too many options, lack standards, especially hard for newcomers. How to structure an Ansible project. So back couple of years back, we moved transition to collection, and then we recommend having roles as part of collections, playbooks as part of collections, modules as part of collections. Then there are standalone roles. So obviously it gets confusing as to, for a new developer, as to how to get started or how to structure your Ansible project. Then again, this talks about Ansible lint. It tells that it shows a lot of errors, but they don't know how to interpret and work on fixing those errors. So we listened to the feedback, and we started basically trying to provide an opinionated way for all the tools that we bundle. I mean, there were a bunch of tools that were available in community. There were a bunch of tools that we started developing right from the scratch. We looked at the Ansible Developer workflow. So obviously, first one is to write your Ansible content, playbooks, roles, tasks, modules, plugins, and all. After that, test the Ansible content and deploy the Ansible content. So basically, trying to when you want to, after the content is written, you want to deploy it into your stage environment. So within the create bucket, we have Ansible Creator. This is a new tool that the team has written. It helps you scaffold the project with the best practices that are defined by the Ansible community. Right now it scaffolds the collection project and playbook projects. Then Ansible Navigator has been around for a while. It is a text-based UI to write playbooks and troubleshoot it with execution environment. It is a wrapper on top of Ansible Runner and Ansible Core Engine. Then the Ansible VS Code extension. I'll talk in detail. I'll show a small demo about VS Code extension next. And then Ansible Development environment. So if you want to get started writing your Ansible collection, this tool basically helps you create your virtual environments for Ansible specific content. So this is something similar to Python virtual environment. And when this tool helps you to install the collection dependencies, and it provides an isolated environment to develop your collections. Then within test, there is Ansible Molecule. Ansible Molecule has been around for a while. It provides functional test runner for collection, playbook, and role. Then Ansible Lint provides stylistic errors. It is a static tool that provides you feedback with problems in your playbook and what are the best practices that you need to follow within your Ansible project. Then PyTest Ansible is an extension for PyTest tool. It is meant to provide, you can write easily, meant to ease the testing process for your modules, plugins, and the Python code. Talks Ansible is again an extension for Talks. It helps you to test your Ansible content across different versions of Python and Ansible code versions. And in deploy, there is Ansible Builder. So it is used to create execution environment. And Ansible Sign is to sign and verify the content. There is one more thing here that we are planning to work on is the GitHub Actions to basically create your execution environment as you push code to your SCM. That is missing here. So let's talk about VS Code extension. So as the Ansible VS Code extension has been around for a while. In the initial releases, it supported the auto completion, go-to feature, syntax highlighting, and diagnostic for Ansible specific syntaxes. Then it works with execution environment. The playbook that you write, it ensures that it will work with the execution environment that you are writing your playbook against. In the recent releases, we have done a lot of work on enhancing the web views. This is where we are trying to integrate all the Ansible command line tools and providing users with a single pane or a single entry point for an opinionated development. So all the command line tools, I think Soren has a talk next. He will dig deeper into the command line, how that works. But what I will be showing is user interface, how they can get started within using the VS Code Ansible extension. And then it also supports the AI-based code generation and explanation. So we'll show the demo here. How many have used dev containers? Okay. So yeah, I'll just briefly talk about what a dev container is. Dev container are basically containers that provide a fully featured development environment. So you don't have to install the tools that are required on your laptop or system locally. All the tools or runtime binaries are part of that particular container. So Microsoft provides good integration or native integration with VS Code. There is a extension called as remote container. So once you have your container up, the VS Code will remotely connect to your dev container, and it will log you in there, and you can start your development within that container. So for Ansible, we have developed a dev container that consists of all the packages, the 82 tools that I mentioned, and it provides a consistent environment for Ansible development. It basically supports non-rel users. So one of the problems that we face is the extension doesn't quite work well with Windows WSL or on Mac. So for non-Linux based users, this is very helpful. And this is a link to where the container resides. Just go through the demo. This is a VS Code window. I have installed the Ansible extension, and now I am opening a workspace. So within this workspace, you can see there is a dev container folder, and there is a dev container.json file. That is how VS Code identifies that this workspace can be opened within a dev container. And there you can see the name and the link to the registry. But there are a bunch of options that are passed to basically mount the current working directory within the container. And then once you're logged into the container, what is the extension that you need to use? So right now I am on my local machine. I'm reloading my window. VS Code will pop up asking if I want to open the workspace in a container, and that's what I did. So this basically downloads the dev container that I linked earlier, and it will open my workspace within that container actually. So now if you see the back, it is using the dev container, and the ADT tool was not installed on my machine, but it is installed within the container, and these are the tools that come pre-built with that container. Again, yeah, so these are the web views that we have did in the recent releases. There's a lot of work that has been gone into identifying what is the best user experience for structuring the web views and all that. So in the launch option, we have provided links to walkthroughs. So if you want to get started with setting your Ansible environment, you can follow the walkthroughs and set the Ansible environment. Then there is links and documentation all at one place, so a new user can, basically for a new user, all the links are at the one place. Then if you want to configure the Ansible extension, there is a link provided. So there are around 27 Ansible settings that you can provide for the VS Code extension, and it is grouped based on the functionality. Then there is initialize. This uses the Ansible creator tool underneath. There is a UI form to basically scaffold a collection project and a playbook project. We'll just scaffold a playbook project for sake of demo. I'm creating a new directory. So basically this expects that the directory should be empty. Then the playbook project is scaffolded within a collection. That's why it is asking for a namespace and the name of the collection. And you can hit create. This will go and create the scaffolded collection. So in here you can see within the test directory, it has created a bunch of folders. So it has scaffolded a bunch of GitHub actions. There is a CodeBot configuration file to enable CodeBot on your repository. Then there is Ansible Net integration for the GitHub action. Within the extension, so once you open this workspace within a VS Code, it will prompt you to download these extensions. Then within the collections, there is Ansible _. This basically follows the Ansible core collection hierarchy. then it scaffolds requirement file, the inventory file. So it's just help you get started with Ansible much quicker and faster. Then there is an Ansible Navigator configuration file, the Ansible CFG file, all the standard, most common default values are being added into the CFG file. Then dev file is something that works. It is similar to dev container, but it is if you want to create a project within OpenShift dev spaces in a hosted environment, this is the file that the OpenShift dev spaces leaves. Then it scaffolds some sample playbook for Linux and network environment. So this is just I'm showing. It is running Ansible Lit, some form of validation. So there I created some error, and Ansible Lit is running within that container, and it immediately showed what was the problem with my playbook. So it's like runtime validation on the playbook. So this next section, if you already have your project created and you want to add certain files, certain plugins, filter plugins, lookup plugins, and things like that. If you want to create a dev container, if you already have your project and you open it in a workspace, but if you want to open in a container, you need to create a dev container. So this UI basically helps you get started with scaffolding the dev containers. Then there is a dev file for OpenShift dev spaces, and then we are currently working on execution environment. So this form will basically help you get started writing the execution environment file. It will also, in future, you will also be able to basically create and build the execution environments. And this is the AI integration. The demo, this is using the Ansible Lightspeed in the backend. So initially, you can just type in what the playbook or what action you want to take. So I'm writing here playbook to gather facts with a Cisco iOS device. So after I click on analyze, it will send an inference request to the model, and it will come back with a plan. Once once the plan is sent, it will basically give me the Ansible playbook, and then you can also ask for playbook explanation using the button. Yeah. For each task, there is an explanation for individual task. So this was the demo. Moving on to the roadmap slide. So around ADT, currently we are working on adding more features to the Ansible Creator tool. The action plugin, filter plugin, test plugin, scaffolding of those projects. Then Molecule predates the collection split. So making Molecule aware of collection and basically making it aware of collection and testing, helping Molecule test collections in a better way. So in near term, we will be there is a lot of focus that we'll be putting on Ansible roles. So Tim here has a talk tomorrow on how to write Ansible roles the correct way. Then we will be adding a bunch of rules to lint rules that will run on roles within collections. Then for ADE, within Ansible tools, there are multiple places where we download the dependencies for collection, and ADE is a tool that does that for us. So we will be standardizing all those, all the logic within different tools on the ADE collection dependency functionality. In the long term, there is a utility that one of the staff engineers on Ansible team had written, that is standalone role to collection conversion. So we'll be looking at adopting that utility and enhancing the tooling around that. Then collection sanity testing. So right now there is Ansible test tool that is part of core engine that does sanity test. However, that tool is not suited well for collection testing, and no new features, or there is no roadmap on the Ansible core team to support that. So we are looking into ways how we can improve the situation there. Then this is content collection publishing. So we'll be writing some GitHub actions, opinionated GitHub actions to publish content on Galaxy and Automation Hub. Then create a subcommand. So basically, there has been multiple requests around if you have APIs written in open API spec or different format. So the tool should read the APIs and then scaffold the modules and plugins based on the standard formats and the previous experiences. And then the Podman desktop extension to basically ease the usage of ADT container. I'm almost done. Okay. So, so the VS Code extension roadmap is the web view that I just showed you now is what we have currently. Then we will be enhancing the execution environment form to basically build and create execution environment. In near term, we'll be providing docs for the plugins and collections and roles within the extension web view itself. Then EDA, the Ansible Event-Driven Automation, Ansible rulebooks has been around for a while now. So we'll be introducing auto completions, validations for Ansible rulebook. And this, in the long term, there is policy as code. So things are not defined yet. What we want to achieve is basically as a user is developing their playbooks, they should be provided with feedback around whether the playbook adheres to the organization's policy or not. So there are a lot of unknowns in there, in that section. So yeah. And I mean, if there is something on the roadmap that you see missing or you want us to work on, you can just let us know. We have a team here, is the product manager for Ansible, so we can get it added in the roadmap and prioritize it. So, any questions?
So I have a question about. So the container will be used for only, is it usable only in VS Code integration, in VS Code integration, or is, for example, for a user that use Vim or NeoVim, etc., would be useful to have that container for that kind of environment? And the execution environment will be, when it will be introduced, will be meant to have container for development, for build, for scaffolding and build and the execution environment to run an Ansible playbook. That's correct?
Yeah. So for Vim, I'm not sure if there are any plugins available, but what you can do is you could download the container, log in using bash, and then within that you can use, so all the tools and all are available there for you to run. What VS Code does is it just makes you a lot more easier to just log in and start your development. And around execution environment, the dev container has Ansible builder utility. So whatever playbook you write, you can build and create your execution environment and test your playbook against that execution environment using Ansible Navigator.
And there is a language server for Vim actually. Is the same language server that is used in VS Code?
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah. So the language server supports auto completion, go-to, validation, and bunch of language specific features that you can use with Vim. But the web views and all that, obviously we are using VS Code APIs to display that, so that we can't use. Any more questions? So there is a forum page, so all the latest releases and development that happens in the developer tool space, we post it on the forum. And yeah, this is a slide that Don must have shared earlier. Thank you.